Very good morning once again, people of the internet. For those who don't know me and tuning in for the first time, my name is Kunguru87. I'm glad to be above ground because being above ground is a blessing. I'm grateful. Some people will have wished to have an opportunity like mine to wake up na kushughulikia tu mambo zao za kutegemea from which area ama from which end. Fortunately or unfortunately, they never made it to this day or this hour. Some even made it when they are in hospital, I'm on hospital, or they receive some bad news. So I'm grateful for being above ground. Remember, being above ground is a blessing. Today I want to talk about these schools that we see around our neighborhood. Have you ever wondered why some people tend to take their kids to very funny schools? What am I mean by funny? You know, was it 1 week ago? I was just seated somewhere. I woke up very early, I think by 6. Woke up very early and I was just observing the school buses. Then I saw another school bus and I was like, huh? Last time I checked where that school is at. That school was very far. Hiyo shule ilikuwa iko mbali sana. Mpaka nikajiuliza. All the way. Sasa kama hii basi imekuja huku all the way, itafika shule saa ngapi? I decided to Google the distance. From where the kid is being picked to where the school is at was around 30 something kilometers. On average, with the traffic that I know that is in Nairobi, Kenya, will take around 30 minutes if all is well. 30 minutes to 40 minutes if the traffic is good. But if it's bad, we are talking of more than that. So now, a friend of mine made a joke on the same issue that people tend to say that I'm building a house. So you go to some places where it is very, okay, not necessarily interior, but you just build a house. Umeenda umejenga mali huko, ukakuwa successful in life, tayako imewaka. You and your buddy there, you and your couple friends there, you and your friends you've gone somewhere. Mumshajenga mkaingia kwa nyumba. Lakini mali shule iko. You've made life comfortable for you but not for your kids. Ngoma inaanza pale mali mnaanza kutafutana na shule. Unapata mali shule iko. If itakuwa iko karibu, naye wanapiga msumari kuwapiga msumari. They charge you like double or triple of the school fees you are paying, or even the house rent you are paying where you are paying your house rent. What am I saying? For example, those who come from Nairobi, the Syokimau area. Maybe you are living in somewhere like, let's say, the closest place you are living maybe Eastlands or the Kilimanis or the South Bs and the South Cs, just to mention but a few. And maybe your house rent was an average of 50,000 a month. And the school fees there was around maybe 40 average, not quite sure. You can leave the comments there. So it is 40,000 Kenya shillings for the school fees. I do a give or take of the rent was around 50,000. So maybe an average constant, what you call a constant fees that you have to pay is around 90 or 100,000. You guys have hustled your way around and you've managed to build a house in Syokimau, the other side of town. Wow, very nice. You want to stop paying rent. You've gone to your house. You've settled in. Then you look for a school. Do you know how much the school fees are? 70,000 or 80,000. You're like, okay. Your give or take the other time was 100,000 at maximum. That's rent and school fees. Now you've gone somewhere, it is only school fees at 70,000. Is that mathing? That is one kid. You decide to have 2, 3, 4. What am I trying to say? Let's not only think of ourselves. Let's also think about these kids. We tend to think a lot about ourselves and forget about our kids. Imagine, sorry. Imagine you are living in Utawala. Let's not go too far. Or Utawala is in Machakos County, but you can access it through Nairobi, the Eastern Bypass. Or living in Imara Daima. And the kid is going to school in Mlolongo. Just imagine the kind of torture. You know, sometimes I wake up and when I observe, you'll find that these kids wake up even earlier than you yourself, the parent who's paying that school fees. And they also sleep late the same time you're sleeping. But I'm like, hey, it's too much. It's too much, no. That's why you end up seeing some kids sleeping in the bus, around 7. And then I don't know even how it happens. You know, ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, try and advise me. You end up seeing the same kids who go to far distance schools. They usually don't sleep early. You'll find their parents that she's an early riser. He's an early riser. Come on. Mtoto anaumia. Ni vile hizi kakwambia. Those people who've studied psychology, they will tell you, mtoto anaumia. If your kid school is very far, make sure latest 8 mtoto kaputa anacheza na uzingizi huko, ashafika huko Kapernaum huko. Because chances are, if a kid is being picked by 6, chances are by 5 the kid was awake. Yeah, by 5 mtu alikuwa shaamka. So a good sleep should last around 8 hours for a kid. So we do the math, give or take, by 10 anafakwa. That kid, 10 p.m. that kid was dreaming. So by latest 8:30 that kid should have already been in bed. But you call a couple of friends and you visit a couple of relatives, you'll be shocked at 10. Yeah, like you want to sleep, but you're being told, this one we are mezawaya. He or she is used to. Imagine I've tried. Come on. Your kid is even waking up earlier than you to go to school, leaving you sleeping. Some of you, when they leave is when you wake up, and you let that kid sleep late. It's like you don't like this kid. Some of us parents have reached to an extent where we only see our kids maybe on Sunday we are going to church, or on Friday for those who are going to mosque, or for those who are going to the temple. It's our nannies who are taking care of these kids. Even homework we don't do. You know, I'm in a certain group and I was shocked. Another parent was asking ABCD and I was like, really? You even don't know the name of your class teacher. First and foremost, you live in Syokimau, you work in Westlands. So there's a 2-hour time that usually be accounted for in traffic. By the time you get to work, meaning you left maybe at 6, if you're reporting at 8. You leave at 5, by the time you get at home, it's already 7. You pass to a few friends, moshene, the men pass a local tea or coffee, or sip some liquor or whatever. By the time they get into the house, it's 9, 10. The kid is already asleep or not. How was school? Those are the baseless, lameless questions. How was school? How is teacher? What did teacher say? And that's it. You find that teachers or our nannies know our kids much more than even us ourselves. Yet, we the parents, sisi ndo tuko na kierere when the kid amechapa kidogo, you march to the school. I'll see. What teacher leo ataniona and you know nothing about your kid. That teacher will know today. Hawezi nichapia mtoto. Do you know, let me ask you parents, just let's deviate a bit. When you go kelele sharing ama quarreling this teacher, you plan again to leave the kid with the same teacher. Are you mad? The same nanny you don't give food, the same nanny that you don't even pay attention to their own well-being or how their kids are going, are doing well, or his or her parents, is the same one you want to leave your kids with. People of the internet, wake up. Come on, wake up. When you're planning to look for a house, consider also the school for your kids. Just because the land there are 50 by 100, Maguta is going for monies or amount of figures you can afford. Ask about this. You know, when the marketing, there's this very great marketer we have on one of our radio stations, biggest radio station. This guy is a bomb. I adore this guy. That guy can market your phone, the one you're holding right now, watching this clip, or the laptop you're using, or the screens you're watching it from. And you might look at this phone and you're like, hey, this guy is talking about this phone, kweli am another phone. That guy can market land. Wow, 10 minutes away from the expressway. You can oversee the SGR. Come on. Kwani you'll be going to Mombasa every day. You are just you're viewing the airport, the national park, all those things. But I've never heard of the name school. Then when you go there, you've already bought land, you've started putting down the materials, you're doing everything, you are running up and down, you're trying to beat a deadline by this Christmas 2025, I must be inside my house. You've already invited friends, you're inside your house, you've done a big wedding, boom, you want to look for a school. You're like, what? So what happens now? Where your kid was schooling at, maybe in South B or wherever, or Utawala, is where the kid will be picked from. When you guys try and figure out what you'll be doing, when you buy these pieces of land, consider also the schools for these kids. If you yourself, you're tired of being in traffic for 2 hours, say, boss, ask you, what about that kid? A toddler. Do you know the other day a kid was knocked by a bus because the school bus driver couldn't even see the kid. The kid was wearing the what do you call the Marvin or whatever they're called, blue in color, and blue cannot be seen well in dark places. And do you know what the nanny was doing? Busy making stories, and in the morning they're catching up about the yesterday's Nigerian movies or the yesterday movies that they saw on Netflix and whatnot. Before you notice, boom, a kid is down. They never noticed the kid was down. Then another bus comes and there's a kid lying down there, bleeding profusely, and you start wondering what's not happening. The parent comes out, why have you knocked my kid? It's a police case, and all hell breaks loose. But if you ever ask yourself a question, what was the kid doing at 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m., standing in the cold with the past rains? What was that kid doing? You chose to go and build a house to satisfy your need, to quench your thirst. But you never considered the kid. The deal was too good. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, while you guys are choosing a house somewhere, consider even the school. Consider even maybe a church. Consider even a mosque or a temple for that matter, depending on the religion you guys serve at. But the school one is the important one. Give your kids that ample time. Do you know, have you ever had some kids like, it's on Friday, they leave for Friday, like, oh my God, it's on Monday. When will it be Friday? Have you ever had kids who tell their nannies, today you've woken me up 5 minutes earlier. Teacher said today we don't go to school, that we go later. They even pretend they are sick. Even when they're sick, they're more happy. If a kid must board a school bus, that school should not be 10 or 15 minutes away from where you're living at. So that in case of an emergency, even the nanny can access the school. Hi auntie so-and-so, hi uncle so-and-so, just drop by, pick my kid from school. When you hear this, when teachers start calling you that we are waiting for you to call to send someone to pick the kid to take them to school, that should be ringing something on your bed, on your head. What's not happening? Then you have to travel again 20 kilometers away to go and to pick this kid, then take them again to another hospital 15 kilometers away. Then you head home another 30 or 40 My goodness, don't you see the time you're wasting on the road and on traffic because of this kid? Couldn't you get a better deal somewhere? Get a place where you can invest or where you can build your houses that is so comfortable even to your kids. I had another relative of mine. Oh, this is a funny one. They bought some apartment somewhere, and it was so far that, you know what they said? They put that apartment up for sale because they said the deal was good, it was nice, very secure, very ample. Okay, there are no kids who are going to school, but that aunt of mine was saying like, oh my goodness, that distance is a no for me. They went and bought another one back in the city center. The distance, that's an old person. That's an adult complaining. What of the school going kids? Come on. That's an adult complaining. And remember, they're just reporting to their workstations where they can go at least have a nap somewhere in the middle there, in the middle of the day. You know, our kids, when they enter, it's marathon, baka jioni, marathon. And then you start complaining why your kid is underperforming. Teacher, my kid nowadays is not performing well. Teacher, I think he needs extra guidance. He needs extra tuition or tuition. Come on. Take your kids to good schools. Don't just take them to these Tom and Dick high schools. Go live somewhere that is accessible. Wewe unaishi Utawala na mtoto shule iko Kitengela. Maandamano ring, you are now Oh my God. I don't know about you. You can advise me, but the best I can say, live closer to where a school is at. Make the life of that kid be stress-free, and it will help you in future. In case of emergencies, in case the nanny needs to get something or drop, or the kid are forgetting about a book, or maybe they're closing early, it will help you in the near future. Check your, let's meet in the next video.